Hello everyone, and welcome back to One Man Stream. These last couple episodes that I've been doing, I'm kind of tying up some loose ends with some comments that I've had on my YouTube site. This week what we're going to do is actually another subscriber. It was from Technology, and he looked at the hockey graphic that I'd previously made, and he asked if I could make some additions to it. He wanted to know if I could put in a power play, and if I could notify or put up some type of notification when it's a 5-on-3 or a 4-on-4. So that's going to be our focus today. And what we're going to do first is I'm going to bring you over to GT Title Designer, and this is the graphic. And all this information that you see through here, we had covered this in a previous video. We created this inside portion, this square setting up on its corner, and then these other two boxes that have the visiting team and the home team. We did that in a previous video, and we also created this sponsor portion right here. But in today's video, we're going to focus on the black boxes that are above the initial graphic. Or this is going to notify audience when there's a power play, and it's also going to notify the audience when it's a 5-on-5 or a 4-on-3. Now, what we have right here is actually four distinct pieces. We have a visiting team background, and then we have this portion right here, which is the visiting team abbreviation. We have the power play notification, and this power play notification actually includes this dash right here. And then we have the power play clock. We have that for the visiting team and for the home team. Also have what I call a visiting team special text and a home team special text. And let's go over here and take a look. The pieces that I'm referencing are right here where it says visiting power play background. That's what this abbreviation stands for. This is visiting power play text, visiting power play clock, and then I have this, which is visiting power play special text. And you'll see with the eyeball grayed out that I have it turned off, but I'll go ahead and momentarily turn it back on. And you can see where it comes in over top of the power play information. Now I have the same thing for home team. Let's go up to that. I have home team background. I have home team power play text. I have home team power play clock, home team power play abbreviation, and home team special text. And I'll show you what each one of these elements is. Right here where it says home power play abbreviation, that is this right here. And that's actually linked to a list widget that we had already created, and I'll show you that in just a minute. Then we have the home power play clock, that is right here. Then we have the home power play text, and that is right here. And then we have the home power play background, and that's that black rectangle that you see right here. And then we'll go back to the visiting team. We have the visiting power play background, and that's this rectangle right here. We have the visiting power play text right here, and as I said a moment ago, it includes the dash. Then we have the visiting power play clock right here, and then we have the visiting special text, and I'll click it back on, which is this right here. Now, I mentioned that the core of this graphic we created in a previous tutorial, so I don't want to go over that again, but I will show you how we created this visiting and home elements. The first part is going to be the visiting power play background. So I click the rectangle, and then I just came over here and stretched out a rectangle. And this is very simple. I chose the fill color to be black, and then I just titled it. I clicked on right here where it says rectangle 1. I just double clicked on it, and I titled it visiting power play background, but we're just going to leave it rectangle 1 for right now. Now for these next three components, we use the ABC button. So I clicked the ABC button, I came over here and I drew me out a little rectangle. The font that I've been using lately is this one right here. I've been using extra bold. Let's go ahead and center it in the middle up and down, and in the middle left to right. And we're going to click on this box right here and choose shrink. And that way, anything that we put within this box we just created is going to stay within this box. And we're going to go ahead and change the fill color to white. And all I did is I double clicked on this and I typed in BOS. And I probably made it a little bit bigger. Let's go ahead and make it a little bit bigger. Let's make it 48. There we go. And that's how I did the power play, the visiting team power play abbreviation. Now, what I also did is I right-clicked on this and copied, and I right-click and paste, and you can see where that changes to text block 2. And I do this all the time because it just cuts out some steps and makes it easier. I'm going to click on the title bar for text block 2, and then I'm going to use my arrow keys. And I'm going to bring this all the way over to the right-hand side. And when we get it into position, I'm going to change that to where it's going to be visiting power play clock. And that looks good about right there. So what I would have done now is I would have gone up here to where it says text block 2. I would have double clicked on this and I would have changed this to visiting power player clock. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to double click in it just as a placeholder, and I'm going to type in 3 minutes. And now we have a visiting power play clock. Now the other thing that I need to do is the power play text, and I will click on the ABC. I will come over here and drag me out another box like so. And I will center it in the middle, up and down, right to left. I'll click on shrink again. Going to make that fill color white. And let's go back to our font selection. We're going to choose this one. And we'll also make it extra bold. And then we're going to double click inside of it. And we're going to click this dash space. And then I'm going to hold down the shift key. And I'm going to type in power play. And let's go up here and let's make it a little bit bigger as well. So we're going to make that 48. So that's how I made these 3 components right here. I did the exact same thing. Actually, the easiest way to do this is you could click on this one, hold your shift key down, click on this one, and then click on this one. Go up here to where it says create group and click on it, and then it's going to make a group for you. And then all you would have to do is copy and paste, or copy that group and then paste that group, and then bring the whole thing down here, all 4 elements at one time. The only other thing that we need to do is let's click on this text block 3, and then we're going to copy, and then we're going to paste it. And you see where it turns to text block 4. So now we have 2 different things here. And on text block 4, I'm going to call this special text. We turn off text block 3, and you can see on text block 4, this says special text. And this is where the 4-on-4 or the 5-on-3 will come in. So with those elements completed, we need to now turn our attention to our vMix UTC layout. And this information right here, where you see visiting power play timer, home power play timer, you see visiting power play off, same thing for home team, and then you see this special text here, and this is where the 5-on-3 and the 4-on-4 will come in. And then we have buttons here to show the special text and to hide the special text. So let's go ahead and dive into that. So the first component let's go ahead and bring the graphic in. Now I'm going to show you these buttons right here. First, for visiting power play, you can see right here where I'm pointing, visiting power play. Let's go ahead and click on that. And it brings in the visiting team name, it brings in the power play information, then it brings in the power play timer. And then at the end of whatever that set amount of time is, it goes away. So let's go up here and let's look at the clock and see what we did with the clock. Okay, so we have a few things going on with the clock right here. You can see where I checked the tick box next to start and the tick box next to stop. And I typed in these links right here that says start power play visitor and reset power play visitor. And I'll show you why we created these links and how we are going to utilize those in just a minute. We came down here and we had to map the graphic. We mapped it to the hockey graphic, and then we mapped it to the visiting power play clock portion of the graphic. Under format, we chose minute, /:, SS, and that's just going to give us the minutes and the seconds. If we would have chose minutes here, instead of displaying 3:00, it would display 03:00, and I just think it looks cleaner not to have that leading 0. So I've been using the minutes \:seconds. Now, at the end of the power play, when it counts down to 0, you notice that everything went away. And how I get everything to go away is by using this on completion and this command right here that says visiting, it says VPP off, which is visiting power play off. So when that timer counts down to 0, it's going to take away all those visiting power play assets. It's going to take away the background. It's going to take away the visiting team abbreviation, the visiting team power play, and the visiting team power play clock. So where did that come from? Well, let's go up here and look at this right here. We have two buttons here. One says visiting power play, and this is the one that shows the visiting power play information. And then we have another one here that says visiting power play off, and this takes away the visiting power play information. So let's take a look at these two buttons. So we're going to click on the cog here, and let's reposition this. So you can see next to the execute box, I have that checked, and this says start home power play clock. And then I have several things scripted here, and what I had to do is I had to come down to this script button right here where it says, you hover over the plus, it says add script command. The first one is always numbered 0, and then it numbers them sequentially. So I've got 5 pieces of script here. And all we're doing is the same thing we've done in other tutorials. We're just turning portions of the graphic off and on. So this first one here is set X visible, and it's an image. So let's see what we're doing with this. So here's all those components of the graphic. So we're setting X visible, image number 4, and we're setting that on. And you guys know from other videos, when we use set X visible and we don't include the on or off at the end of it, it allows us to do it like a toggle. So we're setting X visible on for image 4. Image is the same as source, and it's the visiting background image. So it's going to set the visible on for the background image. The next thing it's going to do is it's going to set X visible on for text 14. So here's all of our text. Let's go to 14. And that's the visiting power play text. So that's the text there in the middle that contains the dash and then the words power play. So let's scroll this down and let's look at the next 3 pieces of information. The next one is set X visible for text 11. Text 11 is the visiting power play abbreviation, and that's the visiting team name. And then 13 is the visiting power play clock. So it's turning on the abbreviation for the visiting team, and it's turning on the visiting power play clock. The next piece of information is the execute link, and that's the start power play VIS. And what that is it's starting the power play visiting clock. So it's going to bring in all these pieces of information, all 4 of those pieces of information, and then after that, it's going to start the clock. So let's look at this button right here. Next to the execute, I have this checkbox, and it says visiting power play off. So all of this is under the heading of visiting power play off. So when we execute the link visiting power play off, it's going to remove all these elements. It's going to run these the script and remove all these elements. So let's look at these elements. So the first one is image 4. And image 4 is the visiting power play background, so it's going to turn that off. And then the next command is the text 14. It's going to turn off the visiting power play text. Then it's going to set visible off for 13, which is the visiting power play clock. Then it's going to set X visible off for text 11, which is the visiting power play abbreviation. And then it's going to execute the link that says reset power play VIS. So what it's going to do is it's going to reset the power play timer, so it's going to be ready to go the next time that we need it. And just to refresh your memory, that was right here where it says stop. And you know from previous videos in vMix, when you click stop, it's going to reset your clock. So when we execute the reset PowerPlay VIS, it's going to reset the clock to whatever the default time is. In this case, it's 10 seconds, but if you're running a 2-minute penalty or a 3-minute penalty, it would reset it to that time. The exact same thing for the home team, and this is turning on the home PowerPlay. This is set X visible image 1. Set X visible image 1 is the home PowerPlay background. Then we're going to set X visible for text 1. Text 1 is the home PowerPlay abbreviation. We're going to set X visible for text 2, which is home PowerPlay clock. Then we're going to set X visible for text 3, which is home PowerPlay text, and that's the one that contains the dash and the text PowerPlay. And then the last thing we're going to do is we're going to execute that link again, and we're going to start the home PowerPlay clock. And that's what this does right here. For the home PowerPlay off, we have this checked right here, execute home PowerPlay off. And we're going to set X visible off for image 1. Image 1 again is the home PowerPlay background. Set X visible off for text 1, which is the home PowerPlay abbreviation. Set X visible off text 3, which is the home PowerPlay text, which contains the dash and the words PowerPlay. And then we're going to set X visible off for text 2. Text 2 is the home PowerPlay clock. And then the last thing we're going to do is execute this link right here, which is reset the PowerPlay home. So let's go up here and look under the home PowerPlay timer. And we have where we've checked the start box and we've checked the stop box. Under the start, or next to the start link, we have start PowerPlay home. We already saw that. And then under the stop, reset PowerPlay home. And then let's scroll down. You can see we have it mapped to the hockey graphic and the home PowerPlay clock. Again, we have the same format, minutes and seconds. And then on completion, we have the home PowerPlay off. And what that's going to do is it's going to take all that information away. And that comes from this right here, home PowerPlay off. Now the other bit of information, and let's go ahead and bring the graphic back in. The other new components that we've created to this graphic is right here. And I'll click on this. And it's going to show the special text. So it's going to show right now Boston is 5-on-3. If I come over here to this drop-down menu, I can change it to 4-on-4. We can get rid of it. Let's go ahead and bring it in for the visiting team. Right now it says Washington's 4-on-4. We can change it to 5-on-5 and we can hide it. So let's go ahead and look at these buttons right here. We're going to click on this one for the home team special text. You can see that we have the title mapped to the hockey graphic, and then we have it mapped to the visiting special text portion. You notice that it is a list widget. So we come over here under items, and we click this button we click this button 3 times. I just left the top one blank. And when we hover over it, you can see where it says add list item. So we click it 3 times, and then on the second line and the third line, we type in this. And I'll just show you how we do this. I just clicked on the plus button. It put a line here at the bottom, and then you can see the cursor clicking off and on. And we can put whatever text we wanted in there. So that's how we made this right here. Under the show and the hide, let's click on this. You can see where I have just 2 pieces of script here. The first one is set X visible on. The second one is set X visible on. And this first one is image 4. So image 4 is the visiting background. So we're going to turn the visiting background on. And then we also have set X visible on here for text 12. And text 12 is the visiting special text. So when we click on this button right here, it brings in the visiting team background, and then it brings in the visiting team special text. So we'll click on this button here to hide, and it's going to run those two commands in here, set X visible off on the background for the visiting team, and it's going to set the text off, the special text off for visiting team. And then same thing for the home team. Let's click on this. You can see that we have it mapped to the hockey graphic to the home special text. And then we did the exact same thing. Again, it is a list widget. We did the exact same thing. We came over here, hovered over the plus button, we clicked it 3 times, brought in these 3 lines, and then on line 2 and line 3, we put this information in. So if we come over here and we click show, it's going to bring in the home team background, and it's going to bring in the home team special text. And then we can use the list widget here to change from 5 on 3 to 4 on 4. So let's go ahead and click the hide button, and it gets rid of it. And let's look at these two pieces, the information behind these two buttons. We have set X visible on for image 1. Image 1 again is the home power play background. And then we have set X visible on for text 0. Text 0 is the home special text. And then this one right here is the hide. And we have it again, set X visible off, set X visible off on both of these. We have image 1. Again, image 1 is the home power play background. Set X visible off for text 0. Text 0 is the home special text. So let's go ahead and show the graphic in all its glory real quick. And now the Rangers have a 4 on 4. That will conclude our tutorial today, which was a modification of our hockey graphic that we built a few months ago. And again, it was another subscriber request. This time it was from Technology. So I hope you're enjoying this tutorial series. If you are, please give us a thumbs up and a like. Make sure that you do subscribe so that you'll be alerted as soon as new videos are posted. And as always, thank you so much. Make sure that you stop by onemanstream.com. I have most of the graphics that we've created throughout this tutorial series, and I also have a few of the vMix UTC controllers up there as well. And it's just a few dollars, but it is a small way to support the One Man Stream project. Thank you so much.